Formerly suicidal redditors, what's something that kept you alive a little while longer and helped you to get through the dark times in your lives? I've now attempted suicide 4x in the span of 14 years, 2 of those within 2 years of each other. I think it was the underlying feeling of unease, like me trying to kill myself seems unnatural, no matter how appealing it is. And also, my friends won't let me. A few of them kept watch over me for 4 months while I picked myself up again. I still struggle with suicide ideation. It will always be a part of me, regardless of whether I'm in a good place or not. But I realize now that I can control how loud those voices are and maybe learn how to tune into a different station. You'll laugh, but I used to collect Disney's Tsum and looking forward to them creating Disney characters that I loved really got me through the darkness. Mainly just a sense of bitterness toward my abuser at the time. I refused to let them break me, so I blocked all emotion from bothering or affecting me to make it a war of attrition out of pure willpower and spite. I was 13 or so, trapped in a horrible situation. My parents had told all my friends and family that when a friend had reported sexual abuse to CPS that I was a liar and didn't know what sexual abuse truly was. I had no one to go to anymore, and the one thing that helped me keep going was planning my future to a T. I spent weeks writing out meticulous plans about where I would move, what school I'd go to, what grades I needed to go there, etc. I'm 21 now and I have my own place with a kid. Sometimes living in the future is a perfectly acceptable escape. I failed at a suicide attempt when I was 17. I overdosed on half a bottle of sleeping pills mixed with almost a whole bottle of antidepressants. I went to sleep feeling like my heart was going to escape my chest and take the fuck off. I figured if that didn't kill me, I figured I was stuck here for some reason or another and might as well get used to it. I started to get better once I got out of my parents' house and started to live my own life. I started to feel alive. I still struggle with depression, but I don't self-harm anymore, and very rarely do I struggle with suicidal thoughts anymore. I also found the career I never knew I wanted, and it has truly changed my perspective. I think my job is what truly changed my mindset. This might be a bit off note, but you're all really brave and wonderful people. Keep on living, my friends. I didn't want my sister to think that was an option when she was having a hard time. I'd think once she's out of high school. And by that point my life had gotten a lot better. Also, I think it would have broken my father. I realized I will end up with all the bad people I'm trying to hide from in hell. Not going to lie. The prospect of drinking, cocaine, late nights, and watching BoJack Horseman every damn night until I fell asleep when it wasn't my turn to have my boys on the schedule rotation. All I could think about when my kids weren't going to be with me those nights was sitting at my dive drinking endless $2 PBR and ice-cold Narragansett with the occasional whiskey. I also spent plenty of nights with my friends doing copious amounts of blow and either spend nights at casinos or just sitting in somebody's place. As soon as I was home I'd put on BoJack Horseman while eating whatever takeout was available and knock out with a drink. I know this sounds completely stupid, but it kept me from doing something like eating a bullet or slitting my wrists. What kept me alive? The safety on the gun I didn't switch off. Why am I alive now? I realized after I tried to pull the trigger that I didn't really want to do it. So I never tried again. Things got a lot better. Mine isn't going to be happy, but my brother committed suicide. I don't think I'll ever experience anything that hurts as much as living through it and watching my family and his friends suffer. It fucked my little sister up so bad, and just the thought of putting her through that again makes me want to cry. I'm nowhere near normal and still struggle with suicidal thoughts, but I could never do that to my family. Thinking I would fail at it also and create even worse situation. Thinking about my cat. All the things I wanna do and have in the future. In school I was the ass end of a lot of jokes. Told to kill myself on many occasions. Almost went through with it, and then I had an epiphany. If I kill myself, these chuckle fucks then get to piss on my grave all they want. They'd win. Fuck that. I'm going to live long enough to piss on their graves out of spite. Spite keeps me alive. I knew if I did what I wanted to, I wouldn't be there for my pets when they needed me the most. I love you, baby mice. They're probably the only things that keep me going sometimes, and I'm totally okay with that. They need me and I need them. I have younger brothers. I thought it would be so hard for them to understand what would have happened to me. I wouldn't want them to go through that trauma. Ever. Dog. I'm a college professor. It's a long story, but one of my students came to my office and told me she could sense something was wrong. She told me that she and some other students wanted me to fight. She didn't know I was suicidal, but did put her finger on why I was suicidal. Knowing that my students cared helped me find the strength to seek help. I have since told that student that she saved my life and I will forever be in her debt. She just got engaged and is expecting. I am so happy for her. The recurring realization I wouldn't get to see the next movie or season of my favorite saga/shows. As depressed as I was, that was somehow more depressing. My dog. No one would have wanted him because he only liked me. I pushed through for him every single day. Since he's died it has become harder, but I still do it because it's become habit now. My dogs, I can't leave them. I was suicidal because of bullying. I thought to myself one day as I had a gun in my hand, if I was gone, the people that caused it will be happy. So why the fuck would I want their happiness when they never wanted mine in the first place? So I kept pushing till suicidal thoughts were no more. I had a friend that was in the same mental state as me, only she was younger by a few years. I decided to stick around for her. She didn't make it. Worst day of my life was when I found out. My identical twin, when I was younger and suicidal, she was the lighthouse in the storm. How could I leave her alone here without her biological other half? We have our own saying that we have had since we were in our early teens, from the womb to the tomb. Ain't no way I'm breaking twin protocol and offing myself before I've had a chance to be old and geriatric with her and confuse nursing home staff. Revenge. I want to destroy the lives of my cheating ex and her fiancé. I didn't want my cat to miss me. My daughter. We found out we were pregnant, as I was approaching the end, but couldn't do that to my wife until I had more financial security for them. I know how illogical that sentiment sounds. 5 years later, never been happier. I still cry thinking about how foolish I could have been. God, I feel like shit all the time. Fuck depression. Marvel. The MCU. I don't consider myself much of a fanboy, but I knew that if I killed myself, I would miss out on knowing what happened to the characters I invested in. I would even buy multiple tickets for each movie and treat my friends. It has been so important to my life, and 2020 has been hard without a release. Yet, it helped me realize that there will always be something out there to convince yourself to get excited over and share with others. Come 2021, the MCU will continue to be just one of the reasons I keep going. For me, it was my nieces. They were babies when I started having suicidal thoughts. But I kept thinking, they'll never get to know me if I kill myself. I would think of them saying, I have 2 aunts on my dad's side, but one of them killed herself. I didn't want them to say that. Now, I don't really have a relationship with them because I don't have a relationship with my brother, but at least there's the possibility of one in the future. What would my sisters do who have already lost their father? What would my mother do, who lost her husband? What would they tell my 6-year-old little brother, who's already had so much upset his life since his mother left? Who would tell my wonderful net friends once I disappeared? Who would take care of my cat, who would love him in my stead? What if they buried me under my dead name in a dress? Drugs. Spent a long time getting high. I was stupid, and it didn't help in the long run. Letting go of whatever you're holding on to. Sounds like bunk. Had happened for me on multiple occasions. Just give up. Nothing in life is worth ending yourself, and everything will take care of itself before long at all. I'm so thankful I'm alive today. One Piece. Haha, I know it's kinda silly, but I love the adventure. can always look forward to the next chapter. Or to be saving lives smile. No one will read this. But it was a promise. When my best friend found out, she made me promise I'd never do it, as I'd take my burden and put it on other people. Time passed, I don't even like her anymore, but I still keep that promise. I wouldn't say I'm depressed per se, but I do get bad days where I just can't stop thinking about the possibility. The other thing that stops me is imagining who'd be going to my funeral and how little people would actually go. Ending of One Piece.